right. It's Monday. Todd is somewhere in the Alaskan frontier right now.
Like this. Yep.
And I am somewhere in southern Florida. South Florida. No, I think I'm at Daytona Beach right now supporting my wife in a pretty big competition.
Yeah.
So we're not actually here. This video's not happening. It's kind of weird to think about.
It's a fake video.
No, clearly we recorded this a little bit ahead. We hope you all forgive us if our reaction to the comments slow down just a little bit. We're actually doing a little traveling this summer, so we're trying to enjoy some time. But we hope you enjoy this video while we're off on vacation. How to react when the Scrum team hates your idea. Oh my gosh, Todd, this happened to me all the time. Like when I'm in a Scrum Mat, this is almost every day, right?
Yeah. And are we going to talk about this through the lens of a Scrum Master, the accountability of a Scrum Master?
Yeah, let's scope it to Scrum Master. And if someone wants to know, well, what about I'm a product owner and they hate, well, that's a new video.
Super quick story. I learned this whole thing the hard way. What I learned the hard way is that you can't bring what maybe worked for you before into a new circumstance, right? So I was working with a team, and previously we had a team working agreement. And when something happened against that working agreement, like looking at your phone while during a Scrum event or something like that, you'd get fined like 25 cents, something like that. And we thought it was fun. We used it for bar money. I took a new job and went in and recommended that the team do that. I'm like, it was super fun. And there was a visceral reaction to it. And I was like taken aback. I'm like, but this works so good at my last thing. And the way I responded was by being humble about it. I was just like, ooh, it worked really well before. I didn't mean to be offensive, but what else can we do? Because this is a problem, right? So I was trying to solve for something that wasn't mine to solve.
Yeah.
So I was kind of humbled by it. That's where I was going.
I take a kind of a different. So first of all, the same track. There's something in my mind that I have to keep focused on, is that it's not about me, right? And so I think back to my worldview revolves around biblical wisdom, and I think about the disciples bringing fishes and loaves to Christ, and Christ did the work. And I think about, my job is just to propose, to bring the fish and the loaves, and it's up to other people to do the outcomes and the work. Mm-hmm. Right. And if they don't like what I propose, it's okay. Right. I can't be accountable for all those outcomes. I can't be accountable for other people's reactions. If I have a good idea, I really try to follow that. But it's hard, right? Because there's ego and there's pride and you want to be helpful. You want to serve and do good, but it's that servant leadership mentality. Greenleaf taught us back in the 70s that it's not about you. And I think, he even drew on biblical wisdom. He drew on corporate wisdom. And he just said, if you can get that locked in, this life will be better for you. Right. But if that's tough, the Scrum Master road is going to be challenging.
Yeah. I full-heartedly agree. And part of me starts to think too, though, is what if there's a quality problem with this team and they don't agree with you, but you see it. Right. So I think that how do you react when a team hates your idea? If it's something that you're very passionate about, it doesn't mean give up on it. It means find another way to bring to light that you think that there might be a problem with it. Maybe take a different stance. Maybe go away from being the upholding Scrum to putting your coaching stance on, or your teaching stance on, some of these stances that we talk about as a Scrum Master. So this isn't to say give up on your idea if you feel pretty strongly about it. It's you change your approach, because ultimately, if the team hates, using the term hate, the team hates your idea, you've taken the wrong approach, or maybe you've offered too much that isn't yours.
Or you haven't said something in terms that matter to the team. Mm-hmm. I think back to our PAL course, Todd. How many times do we talk to Scrum Masters about, don't go up to a CEO and talk about Scrum.
Yeah.
Talk about delivery, talk about revenue recognition, talk about happy customers. And maybe as a Scrum Master, you're kind of nerding out on some lingo and language that they don't care about. But if you can frame up your idea in a sense that makes their lives better, maybe you can have some more influence there as well. So first of all, think about your own emotional attachment to the idea.
Yeah, right.
Think about
because that's a thing, right?
Yeah. Oh,
it's a thing.
We all love our own ideas, but openness, the Scrum value of openness, I think, is about realizing that sometimes we could just be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So check your emotional, attachedness to your ideas. Check to make sure you're not trying to force an outcome, right? Fishes and loaves. That's all we're about here. Servant leadership. And then check your lingo, right? You might not have posed things or framed things in a way that the developers care about, that the product owner cares about. And so check and see if the language needs to shift a little bit. But I think if you check one of those three things, you're probably going to find resistance goes down. When all else fails, get some data.
Yeah.
Go talk to people. Actually get some real concrete information.
Make it objective, not subjective.
Correct, right? Make sure it's an objective measure. And if all of those fail, let's move on.
Yep.
Right? Let's try a new experiment is right around the corner. What do you think, Mr. Miller? Are we good on this one?
That's a wrap.
All right. Be sure to check out the socials at Agile for Humans at most of your finest social media sites. Like and subscribe so you know when we drop new content. Check the videos below. The AI thinks you'll like them. We do too, although we aren't around. So maybe we're wrong. Who knows? But be sure to leave your comments below. We are still checking on the community. We love the fact that you're all asking and answering and leaving great questions and helping each other out. Keep that up. And go forward, do great things. Try to bring your ideas forward in a positive way. And hopefully you make some good progress. And we'll check in. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Bye, everybody.